Previously on Inside Scoop.
And I said it reminds me of that the reason she wants another kid is because everybody gets more attention when they're having a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And that lady did the same thing.
Yeah.
And she ended up torturing her kids.
Sure.
It seems real similar. You know, she lost appeal in social media, and now she's ready to draw it all back in again by having another kid.
I'm Kelly.
And I'm Steve.
And this is Coupled with Chaos.
Inside Scoop, Volume 247 this week. Thankfully, for the first time, no... I forget what the name of it was.
Last Resort.
No, Last Resort. I've erased it from my memory.
Amen.
Yay, I got some of my life back. Unfortunately, it looks like I may have filled it with Polyfamily. We're gonna talk about that after the break. But what we have this week is Diaries. We have regular Scoop, including Bravo and some other 90-day people. Scoop this week. When I look at Diaries, I thought, you know what this is? This really looked a whole lot like a prep and a preview for the Hunt for Love that they're going to show.
Yeah.
May 26th is when it's going to start. That should be, I guess that's a Monday. It'll be a Monday TLC show, so they're showing it on Big TLC this week. Or not this week, this season. Hunt for Love. And in it, because what we got was a big fat bunch of nothings on Diaries this week, with like not Tim Goes to the Dentist. We got Jennifer. I don't even know what Jennifer did. Another nothing update. But I think they're just previewing these people so you see them. So maybe you'll watch Hunt for Love.
I guess.
I think that's just going to be a trash fest, don't you? You know what I wrote? Because I forgot when I was writing the stuff down, making notes during Diaries. I didn't remember Hunt for Love, so I called it F-Fest is what I called it. So I know it's probably pretty bad.
That's bad.
Yeah. But this week on Diaries, they even had a couple of Love in Paradise couples that you probably weren't familiar with.
Yeah, because I didn't watch that.
And I have to tell you, one of them, right, this Matthew and Anna, when I see this, I go, why were these two not on the current 90-day season?
That is what I said to you, and I told you that I thought the reason was because they were a normal couple and they had no drama.
Yeah. I think you're right.
Yeah. We'd like to have seen them on the regular season.
We'd rather
they
get
had a nice story.
Sarper and Shekinah again, or the non-existent throuple.
Yeah.
They're not even a thing, you know.
Yeah,
it's not
I'm
really.
not even watching that,
it's not really even a throuple. They're not in this at all. It's such a trash grab fest for them. It's just bad. But I really liked that Matthew and Anna. It was probably
they were very nice.
Yeah, I thought they were a really good couple.
I said to you that was the best part of Diaries was getting a whole new couple and their entire story.
Mm-hmm. The other Love in Paradise couple, Luke and Madeline, they're part of the fake part of the show. He was somebody was throwing his money around and then ran out of money, lost his job, and then this is what he's got. He's got a bunch of rich habits. What is it? Champagne taste and a beer budget is what he's got. It's I thought that the scene with his dad, they were talking about spending all this money on their marriage, those two, and on their wedding. I'm like, wow, you're talking about $6,000 for a photographer.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
it would never happen for us.
And you see all these guys, and we saw it. Like I remember Usman when he was meeting, I think it was Kimberly or something. And you see these people and they pull these shirts out that they're wearing, and these shirts are full of like the folding squares of stuff that they obviously just bought. And so the same thing with this Luke. He's there getting ready for this camera photo thing on their anniversary, and here he is, and there's perfect squares on his shirt. I'm like, you got to at least spend some time ironing something, pressing something. Maybe you have another shirt. If you're supposed to be this rich guy, at least at some point, unless you sold all your clothes, here they are. The dad, I thought, was pretty smooth in that one. Because he said, you can do whatever you want, and I'll support you, just not with my wallet. And this said, he said, I'm responsible with my money. You've proven that you're not responsible with yours. This week, Colt, any thoughts? Colt and Debbie and this whole thing between the two of them?
I mean, I guess it's nice that they're speaking to each other again, but like I said to you, he's there because he needs his mom, not because he was worried about her, checking on her, overly curious about her life.
Do you think when Colt says he's coming, that Debbie doesn't ask, is Vanessa coming with you? Hey,
yeah.
What about Vanessa? Colt is something else.
Yeah.
Debbie and Tony appear to be hoarders. Yes.
I mean, collectors.
Yeah.
Wink, wink.
There was stuff everywhere.
Yeah, that was a big
The
mess.
sign for me in hoarders, if you saw it before the team gets there to clean up, it's the point where
There's stuff on the front porch.
well there's that. That's the first. There's not even room for stuff in the house. It's when you've acknowledged that I'm no longer even trying to eat or making the assumption that somebody could possibly eat at the dining room table. Now, if you're going to eat on trays in the living room, there's no issue with that. Whatever you want to do. But when the dining room table isn't an option anymore.
It's not available.
Because of your stuff.
Yeah.
This is probably a problem. When the rest of the world is abandoning paper, these big piles of stuff it can't have. What do hoarders do now if there's no newspapers?
Yeah.
My thought is they surely already knew about Vanessa, and this was just a thing. But to be honest about Debbie, we realize Debbie's overbearing and impossible, right?
Right.
But her problem really was with Larissa.
Yes.
And let's kind of go back in time.
Let's not.
Oh, okay. Well, was she right about Larissa?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Maybe Colt needs somebody to intervene. This would probably be helpful for him. We got a David and Annie update. Nothing we didn't already know or cover. I think we had agreed that we weren't going to spoil things. I think it's public information that they had the baby.
Right.
Where and how and the process probably is still left to be determined. What we do know is there will surely be another Diaries update from them before the end of the season. I would think so. We had a Sophie update. Or no, we didn't, because there was nothing there. It was like Rob's update last week. But Sophie's not at the F-Fest, our Hunt for Love. So I'm not sure what her update was about. We did get reminded about Brian from, he was B90 season 7.
That he is, in fact, a loser.
And so if you don't remember Brian he was the one
in the wheelchair.
In the wheelchair. He was shot. This really looked like a carbon copy of his whole season in about 6.5 minutes.
Yeah.
There are no strings, no labels, no anything until he gets down there.
And then it's, can I call your girlfriend? Are you more than a girlfriend?
Yeah, am I going to meet your family? And if we're not, then I'm going to be offended that I can't meet your family. I don't even remember what these two were called. She
said they might not be available.
This is exactly what I would say. Not a thing. They, before he went down there, they sent his granddaughter, out to play in the playground. like kind of, get lost. Adults are talking. And the rest of the scene, they're like showing, and she is not to be seen anywhere. There look to be, if you haven't watched this yet, like way far in the distance, like a quarter mile away, there looked to be somebody on the soccer field. But I think she may have been gone. So I'm not sure what happened with her. But I almost felt offended to see Brian on the screen. Didn't you think he'd be somebody that would just be not necessarily banned, but we go, we probably are going to stay away from this guy?
I don't know. We got stuck with Angela for so long. How did that happen?
Well, I guess you're right. This is maybe something, I don't know, maybe she was in maybe she signed like a long-term deal. Like, you got a rookie contract.
And we got stuck with Ed for multiple people. So,
Yeah.
I mean.
Do you think they can't bring either of them back, right?
No.
But Ed's on, we don't watch Pillow Talk anymore. Maybe that would be better. Maybe if you watch 90 Day Pillow Talk versus 90 Day, you would find it more tolerable, other than Ed is on it.
Really?
Because it's a shorter version.
Why would they put him on there? Nobody wants to see him.
Well,
or hear what he thinks about anybody else. He can't get his own life straight.
Well, I think it's the concept you said about, Matt and Anna is that maybe the controversy and the issues, maybe all of this kind of sells. People like to be angry. So if Ed's on there, maybe you want to be mad. And people just want to be mad? Is that possible?
I don't think it's that with them, though. I think Angela and Ed are in a different category, because what I see people say on social media is if they're on, they're turning it off.
But if that were true, they wouldn't be on.
Well, I mean, I don't know. How's 90 Days ratings? We're not watching.
I wonder. I'd have to look and see.
That's what I'm saying.
Really,
I have to think it's at least beginning to tank.
Well, everything's down, so I think you're looking at a percentage of the market. Because I think everything's down. Your Sunday night was probably dominated non-sports, right? Because football, all this stuff dominates everything. Other than that,
I mean, look at how many people we know that were our listeners who have left and said, I'm leaving because I don't watch the show anymore.
Mm-hmm. Or that just get their show stuff from us and they don't actually watch it.
Exactly. That's what I mean. There's that many people losing interest in the show.
I think they do better if they didn't make it, like if you're watching it live and don't get a screener, right? Or don't wait and watch it on Plus, then you're sitting through 2 hours of this.
Yeah, it's too much.
For just garbage.
Yeah. It's not even interesting
I
anymore.
think you look at like Reddit live show comments and you see like everything's less. There's less interaction. There's less stuff. I think people are really growing tired of it.
Losing interest.
I think so. And I think it's a part of that. I think your trash watchers are always going to watch. And you're just going to watch it no matter what. This is just what I do. When you find there's so much good stuff out there.
Yeah, there really is a lot better stuff to watch.
Yeah. We are going to talk about Polyfamily. And we're going to talk about actuals like scoop stuff. We're going to talk about that when we come back. So stick around.
Thank you for listening.
You can listen to the rest of this episode
By subscribing to our Coupled with Chaos channel on Apple,
by subscribing to our Patreon
or by subscribing to our Supercast,
for $3.99 a month.
where you can hear us talk about reality shows,
Real life and more on our podcasts.
covering shows airing on TLC, A&E, Bravo, and the WE Network.
Just follow the instructions in the show notes
Tell your friends about this podcast.
and rate and review us on your favorite podcast player.
Follow us at Coupled with Chaos on all the socials.
Or contact us directly by email at coupledwithchaos@gmail.com.